Yo, stop losing cash on trades. Most traders keep making the same mistake without even knowing it, and it's straight up costing you money every single day. In this video, I'm going to show you the #1 trading mistake that almost every trader makes and why it's eating your profits alive. Stick around because by the end, you'll know exactly how to dodge this trap, keep your money safe, and actually start winning more trades. Trust me, this is stuff most pros never tell you. Man, let's be real for a sec. Trading is tough, like really tough. You watch videos, read blogs, follow all these pro tips, and still, somehow, your account keeps bleeding money. You're grinding, you're learning, you're trying to play it smart, but every time it feels like the market just laughs at you. And that frustration, yeah, it hits deep. Beginners feel it first, thinking they're going to hit that sweet winning streak, only to watch their trades tank one after another. You start questioning yourself. Did I read the chart wrong? Did I pick the wrong stock? Was it just bad luck? And even if you've been in the game for a while, intermediate and even some advanced traders feel that sting too. No one likes seeing money vanish, and when it happens over and over, it messes with your head. And here's the thing, the struggle isn't just about losing cash, it's about the mental roller coaster that comes with it. You get pumped up, convinced this next trade is the one, then boom, hit with a loss. And that loss doesn't just hit your wallet, it hits your confidence. Suddenly, you start overthinking every little move. You doubt your strategy. You panic. Maybe you try to chase your losses, thinking, if I just hit one more trade, I'll get back what I lost. Sound familiar? That right there is a trap almost every trader falls into. And let's not sugarcoat it. Once you get stuck in that loop, it's hard to break out. The thing is, the market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're frustrated or tired or stressed. It just keeps moving. And while you're sitting there feeling like the world's against you, the real problem isn't the market. It's how most traders deal with it. You're reacting instead of thinking. You're letting fear, greed, and impatience run the show instead of letting a solid plan guide you. You want that cash, but your own habits are standing in your way. And that frustration isn't just annoying, it's dangerous because it keeps you making the same mistakes over and over. And the more mistakes you make, the more money you're bleeding. Now, here's the kicker. Almost every trader you know, even the ones who look like they've got it all together, has been here, feeling stuck, watching accounts drop, wondering why nothing seems to work no matter how much you study or practice. And the sad truth? A lot of people just accept it as part of trading. Like, oh, that's just how it goes. But that's not it. You don't have to keep getting burned. You don't have to feel helpless while the market takes your money. The thing is, there's usually one sneaky mistake hiding behind all that frustration. The kind of mistake that silently drains your account, messes with your mindset, and keeps you stuck in that losing cycle we just talked about. And trust me, it's way more common than you think. So yeah, the problem traders face is real. It's losing money, feeling stuck, doubting yourself, and getting caught in that emotional chaos that makes even smart trades go south. Beginners feel it, intermediates feel it, even some pros feel it, because until you catch this mistake, until you really understand what's messing with your results, you're always going to be playing catch-up. But here's the good news. Once you see what that mistake is, once it's out in the open, everything starts to change. Your mindset clears up, your confidence builds, and suddenly trading doesn't feel like a battle anymore. It starts feeling like a game you can actually win. And that's exactly what we're about to dive into next. We're going to uncover the #1 trading mistake that's secretly costing you money every single day. The one thing almost every trader keeps messing up without even realizing it. All right, so now that we've talked about the struggle, the frustration, the losses, the emotional roller coaster, let's get straight to the heart of the matter. Because here's the thing, all that pain, all that cash slipping through your fingers, it usually comes down to one sneaky, overlooked mistake. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff traders can mess up, but there's this one mistake that silently drains your account and keeps you stuck in that losing loop we just talked about. And honestly, most traders don't even realize they're doing it until it's too late. So what is it? The number one trading mistake, the one that's costing most traders money, is trading without a proper plan and sticking to it. Sounds simple, right? But that's the trap. Because trading isn't just about picking a stock, guessing a direction, or jumping on a hot tip. It's about strategy, discipline, and managing risk. Without a plan, you're basically throwing darts blindfolded, hoping something hits. And let's be real, that almost never works in the long run. Here's why this mistake is so dangerous. When you don't have a plan, every trade becomes emotional. You start reacting to the market instead of acting with intention. Maybe the price dips a little and you freak out, cutting your trade too early. Or maybe it spikes and greed kicks in, so you hold longer than you should, praying for more gains. That's fear and greed controlling your moves instead of logic. And the market? The market doesn't care about your panic or your dreams. It's going to do its thing. And if you're not following a plan, you're just handing your money over. Even intermediate traders fall into this trap. You might know technical analysis, chart patterns, or indicators, but if you don't have a clear entry, exit, and risk management plan, you're basically guessing. And guess what? Guessing doesn't pay the bills. Advanced traders, the so-called pros, they might have years of experience, but even they get caught slipping when they deviate from their rules. Maybe they're tired, overconfident, or chasing a big win. That one moment of ignoring their plan can wipe out days or even weeks of profits. Another part of this mistake is overtrading. When traders don't have a plan, they tend to jump on every little move, thinking, I gotta make money now, let me just get this quick win. But all that extra trading without strategy, that's just fees, losses, and stress stacking up. And it's exhausting. Your focus gets scattered, your decisions get sloppy, and before you know it, you're wondering where all your gains went. And here's a harsh truth. The reason this mistake is everywhere is because it's invisible. You don't see it until it's too late. You think, I just need to get one more trade right. I just need to catch this move. But without a plan guiding you, that's gambling, not trading. And gambling is how accounts get blown. So what does a plan even look like? It's not about complicated charts or fancy tools. It's about having rules you follow no matter what, knowing exactly when to enter, when to exit, and how much you're willing to risk. It's about sticking to those rules even when your emotions are screaming, even when the market's wild, and even when your friends or social media say this stock is going to moon. Because here's the thing. Your plan is the only thing keeping you from falling into that losing spiral we talked about before. And once you start realizing this, it changes everything. You start trading with confidence instead of fear, with logic instead of hope, and with discipline instead of panic. But catching this mistake is just the first step. Knowing about it doesn't automatically fix it. You've got to learn how to reset after losses, control your emotions, and stick to your plan like a pro. That's exactly what we're diving into next. In the upcoming section, we'll talk about why traders keep making this mistake again and again, and more importantly, how you can break the cycle. Because spotting the problem is one thing, but fixing it and protecting your money, that's where the real game changes. All right, so now that we've exposed the number one trading mistake, trading without a solid plan, it's time to get into why this happens over and over again. Why do so many traders, beginners, intermediates, even some pros, keep falling into this trap? And trust me, it's not just about being careless or lazy. It's all in your head. Yeah, your brain and emotions are sneaky little devils that trick you into making moves that seem smart in the moment, but wreck your account over time. First up, let's talk about fear. Fear is like that annoying backseat driver that won't shut up. You make a trade, and as soon as the price dips a little, your brain goes, yo, you're going to lose it all. And just like that, you panic sell or cut your trade short. That fear keeps you from sticking to your plan, from letting your strategy play out. Beginners feel it hard. They see red numbers and immediately freak out. Intermediates, even with experience, still feel that pinch when the market moves fast or unpredictably. And the thing is, fear isn't entirely bad. It's supposed to protect you from danger. But in trading, it becomes your worst enemy when it overrides logic and rules. Then there's greed, the flip side of fear. Maybe the trade goes well and you're already in profit, but your brain is screaming, hold it longer, go bigger, get more. That little rush of excitement feels amazing, right? But greed makes you ignore your exit strategy, ignore your risk rules, and suddenly your winning trade turns into a loss. Beginners think more is better. Intermediates overestimate their skill, and even some pros sometimes chase that extra juice. And that combo of fear and greed, man, it's a recipe for disaster. Another huge reason is impatience. Trading isn't a get-rich-quick hustle, but our brains don't love waiting. When you don't see instant results, or the market isn't moving like you want, you get antsy. You enter trades too early, exit too soon, or overtrade just to do something. And overtrading? That's basically handing your money over to the market on a silver platter. Beginners don't realize they're doing it. Intermediates think they can manage it, and even seasoned traders sometimes fall victim when the market teases them with tiny wins or volatile swings. Add to that the influence of social media and hype. Every day there's a new hot stock or insane trade setup floating around. It's easy to get FOMO, fear of missing out, and jump into trades that aren't part of your plan. This is especially true for beginners, but even intermediates and pros get tempted by flashy setups or insider tips. And when you break your own rules to chase hype, yeah, that's exactly how the account gets burned, even if you've been following a plan for months. And let's not forget overconfidence. Some traders start feeling like they've got it all figured out. They've had a few wins, learned some patterns, maybe even built a little account. Then suddenly they start ignoring their own plan, thinking, I got this. But the market humbles everyone eventually. Overconfidence makes you take risks you shouldn't, ignore warning signs, or skip steps in your strategy. It's like trying to drive blindfolded because you've done it a couple times before. Fun at first, but it ends badly. At the end of the day, it's a mix of all these psychological and behavioral traps, fear, greed, impatience, FOMO, and overconfidence that keeps traders making the same mistake again and again. Your brain is wired to react, not plan, and until you learn how to control those reactions, you'll keep sabotaging your trades, no matter how good your strategy or technical knowledge is. But here's the silver lining. Once you understand why you're doing it, you can start taking control. You can build habits that keep you disciplined, stick to your plan, and protect your money. That's what separates casual traders from those who consistently make profits. And the next step, the part we're diving into, is exactly how professional traders avoid this spiral, how they reset after a loss, manage their emotions, and stick to their rules like clockwork. So hang tight, because next up, we're going to break down the reset protocol, what to do right after a losing trade to keep your mindset clean and your account intact. Trust me, this is where things start flipping for your trading game. All right, so we already broke down why fear, greed, impatience, FOMO, and overconfidence mess with traders' heads. But let's get real. Understanding the psychology is one thing, but seeing how it shows up in real behavior, that's where most traders get stuck. You can know the theory, but if your daily habits are off, if your routines are messy, if you're reacting instead of planning, that mistake we talked about, the one that drains your money, just keeps happening. Think about it like this. A trader's behavior is basically the body following the brain's lead. When fear hits, you don't just feel it, you do something impulsive. You close trades too early, you cut winners, you overreact to small dips. Greed hits, boom, you hold too long, chase moves, or risk more than you should. And here's the kicker. Even when you know these reactions are bad, old habits die hard. Beginners try to stick to a plan, but the moment the red numbers flash, the plan flies out the window. Intermediates, they get smarter, but they still fall prey to that temptation to fix a losing trade or jump on a hype train. Even some pros, the ones who look unshakable, get caught off guard when the market tests their patience or shakes their confidence. Another huge behavioral trap is the lack of a reset system. Most traders don't have a way to step back after a loss, so they take a bad trade, get frustrated, and then make another one just to feel better. That's classic revenge trading, And yeah, it feels good in the moment, like I'm taking control, but it's the exact opposite of control. It keeps the account bleeding, builds stress, and reinforces bad habits. Beginners spiral fast, intermediates try to outsmart it, and even seasoned traders sometimes slip, thinking I've got this handled, only to see their profits vanish. Then there's overtrading, which ties back to behavior. When traders act without discipline, they enter too many trades, sometimes just to stay busy or chase little wins. Your brain gets addicted to the action, the dopamine rush of watching charts move, clicking buttons, thinking you're in control. But overtrading is basically giving your money to the market for free. And the worst part? It feels normal until the losses pile up, and suddenly all your careful planning from before feels useless. Add in social influence. Traders constantly scroll social media, read forums, watch hot stock videos, and then start copying trades without thinking. That behavior reinforces the mistake because it's reactive, not proactive. You're not trading your plan, you're trading everyone else's hype. It's like trying to win a race while following someone else's GPS. You might get somewhere, but it probably won't be where you wanted to go, and it might cost you a lot along the way. Even journaling habits matter. Most traders know keeping a trading journal helps, but very few stick to it consistently. When you don't review trades, reflect on mistakes, or track patterns in your behavior, you can't learn from your losses. And without that feedback loop, the same mistakes repeat over and over. Beginners might never even start journaling. Intermediates might do it sporadically, and even pros sometimes skip it when life gets busy. But all of them risk missing the signs that their behavior is sabotaging their trades. And here's the harsh truth. The market doesn't forgive sloppy habits. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your behavior isn't aligned with it, if fear, greed, impatience, or overconfidence runs your daily routine, you're always going to face losses. The good news? Once you see how your actions reinforce that number one trading mistake, you can start changing the habits that keep you stuck. You can build routines, reset systems, and behavioral guardrails that keep your plan intact no matter what the market does. That's exactly what we're diving into next. In the upcoming section, we're going to break down how professional traders avoid this spiral, how they reset after a loss, and the exact steps they take to stick to their rules even when the market gets messy. This is where it gets real, because spotting the mistake and knowing why you keep making it is only half the battle. The next part? That's the game changer. All right, so we've talked about the mistake, the psychology behind it, and how behavior keeps traders trapped. But sometimes talking theory isn't enough. You got to see it in action. So let me hit you with a story that I think every trader, whether you're just starting out or have been in the game for a while, can relate to. A few years back, there was this trader I know. Let's call him Mike. Mike was a smart guy, had been studying charts, knew his indicators, and thought he was ready to crush it in the market. At first, things went okay. A couple of wins here and there, nothing crazy, but he was feeling confident. Then one day, he saw a stock that looked like it was about to explode. The charts were looking perfect, or so he thought. Mike didn't have a full plan for the trade. He didn't set a strict stop-loss or define exactly when he'd take profits. He was relying on intuition, on his gut, thinking he knew what was coming. At first, everything seemed fine. The stock shot up a little and Mike's confidence skyrocketed. But then, out of nowhere, the price started to dip. Panic set in. He thought, I just need a couple more points. I got this. But fear was creeping in. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, and he kept moving his stop-loss further away, hoping it would bounce back. That tiny dip turned into a bigger drop, and before he knew it, he had lost a huge chunk of his account in just a few minutes. Now, here's where it gets real. After that loss, instead of stepping back, Mike made the classic revenge move. He tried to win it back in the next trade. He ignored his own rules, jumped on another hot setup, and yep, you guessed it, he lost again, and then again. Within hours, all the small wins he had built up were wiped out. His emotions were shot, his confidence was gone, and he felt trapped in this never-ending loop. Sound familiar? Because honestly, this is exactly what happens to so many traders, and most don't even realize the pattern until it's too late. What makes Mike's story even more relatable is that he wasn't stupid or lazy. He knew what he should be doing, having a plan, setting stops, managing risk, but under pressure, when fear and greed hit, he completely lost control. Beginners see this as a nightmare. Intermediates nod their heads thinking, yeah, I've done that. And even some advanced traders have stories just like this. The truth is, this mistake isn't about skill level. It's about how the mind reacts when money is on the line. But here's the takeaway. Mike's story also shows that it's fixable. After that painful day, he took a step back, analyzed exactly what went wrong, and started building routines. He set clear rules for every trade. He started journaling his emotions. He even developed a reset protocol to follow after losses so he wouldn't fall into that spiral again. Slowly but surely, his trading improved, and he regained control over his money and his mind. The difference wasn't just learning a new indicator, it was learning how to handle himself, how to stick to the plan, and how to respect the market instead of reacting emotionally. Stories like Mike's are important because they put a face, or at least a name, on the mistakes we've been talking about. They show how easy it is to fall into the trap, how fear and greed can hijack your account, and how a single trade without a plan can spiral into multiple losses. But they also give hope. Once you understand the pattern, you can break it. You can build systems to protect your account, keep your mindset intact, and start trading like a pro rather than gambling on luck. And that's exactly what we're moving into next. After seeing what goes wrong in real-life situations, we're going to dive into how professional traders avoid this spiral. We'll break down the exact steps they take to reset after a losing trade, control their emotions, and stick to their rules like clockwork. If you've ever felt like Mike, frustrated, burned out, or stuck in a losing loop, this next section is where things get really actionable and life-changing for your trading game.
All right, so we've seen the mistake, we felt the frustration, and we even walked through a real-life story that shows how it can all go sideways. But now, let's flip the script. Let's talk about how professional traders actually avoid this spiral. Because here's the truth, losing trades happen to everyone. The difference between a trader who's always bleeding money and a trader who's consistently winning, it's not luck, it's control, it's mindset, it's habits, and yeah, it's a bit of strategy sprinkled on top. First off, professional traders treat every trade like a business deal. They don't just wing it or chase the hype. They've got a clear plan, exactly when to enter, exactly when to exit, and exactly how much they're willing to risk. And here's the kicker, they stick to it. No ifs, no buts, no "I feel lucky today" moments. That discipline is like a shield against fear and greed. Beginners can learn this too. It's just about writing down your plan before you even touch the charts and treating it like a contract you can't break. Intermediates often need to remind themselves, and even pros sometimes double-check to make sure emotion isn't sneaking in. Next, the reset protocol. Pro traders don't just panic when they lose. They've got a system for stepping back, cooling off, and resetting. It's like hitting the mental refresh button. They might take a walk, review the trade calmly, journal what went wrong, or even take a short break from trading. The point is, they don't immediately jump back in to chase the loss, because that's exactly what keeps people stuck in a losing spiral. Beginners, I know this sounds simple, but it's crazy how often people skip this and end up trading emotionally. Intermediates might do it sometimes, but making it consistent, that's where the pros shine. Another thing pros do is manage their risk like it's sacred. They never, ever put more on the line than they can afford to lose. They use stop losses religiously, size their positions carefully, and understand that a loss is just a cost of doing business, not a personal failure. This is huge, because most traders, when they're frustrated or chasing, forget risk management entirely. They either over-leverage or hold too long hoping to recover, and that's exactly how accounts blow up. Professional traders also stick to routines. They have rituals for pre-market prep, reviewing charts, analyzing setups, and even post-market reflection. It might sound boring, but routine removes emotion from trading. When your habits are solid, your decisions become mechanical, not emotional. And that's the sweet spot, trading based on logic, not feelings. Beginners can start with small routines, intermediates can refine theirs, and pros, they live and breathe them. Journaling is another big one. Every pro trader I've studied keeps a journal, not just recording trades, but emotions, mistakes, wins, and thought processes. Over time, this creates a feedback loop that teaches them patterns about themselves and the market. When you see the same emotional reactions repeating, you catch them and stop yourself before making a dumb move. And honestly, this is so many beginners miss the mark. They don't track their behavior, so the mistakes just repeat.
Finally, mindset matters. Pros accept losses as part of the game. They don't cry over them, they don't chase them, and they don't let one bad trade ruin the day. They see trading as a long-term game, not a single win sprint. And that perspective, it changes everything. Fear doesn't control them. Greed doesn't tempt them. Impulse trades get replaced by discipline, and that's exactly the approach you want to start building for yourself, whether you're just starting out or have been trading for years. So yeah, professional traders avoid the spiral through a combo of planning, discipline, reset protocols, risk management, routines, journaling, and mindset. And the best part? These aren't complicated tricks. They're habits you can start forming today. Once you start applying them consistently, you'll notice your trades stabilizing, your confidence growing, and your account staying intact even when the market gets wild. And here's the teaser for what's coming next. After learning all this, it's time to wrap it up with a final message and call to action. A moment to take control of your trading, implement these lessons, and actually start seeing results. Trust me, if you've been following along, this last part is where everything comes together and you walk away with a plan that actually works. So we've walked through the struggle, uncovered the #1 trading mistake, seen why traders keep falling into it, shared real-life examples, and even looked at how the pros avoid the spiral. Now it's time to bring it all home. Here's the deal. You have the power to take control of your trading, your mindset, and your money. The mistakes we've talked about, they don't have to define you. The losses, the frustration, the panic trades, they're all just part of the learning curve. What matters is what you do next. If you start applying the habits of professional traders, making a solid plan, sticking to it, managing your risk, resetting after a loss, journaling your trades, and keeping your emotions in check, you'll notice a shift. Your trades won't feel like a roller coaster anymore. You'll start making smarter decisions, keeping your account intact, and actually building real consistency. And that's the goal, right? Not just a lucky win here or there, but a system that works over time, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or seasoned trader. So here's what I want you to do. Take what you learned in this video, pick one thing, just one, and start implementing it today. Maybe it's writing a proper trade plan. Maybe it's setting strict stop losses. Maybe it's committing to a reset routine after a loss. Whatever it is, start small, start consistent, and watch how it changes your trading game. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because there's more strategies, tips, and insider stuff coming that can take your trading to the next level. Stick with it, stay disciplined, and remember, the market rewards patience, planning, and control. Start building those habits now, and trust me, your future self will thank you.